Hello and welcome to Story Time with Rose. I know that all of you have been waiting all day to hear my crazy stories. So, I decided today I am going to do 2 stories of me when I was a kid, and I know that's 2 for 1 value, that you should just count your lucky stars, because Rose here has some gold for you. Alright, so, just because I like to move around a lot, I'm going to put this over here. And yeah, okay, so when I was a kid, I'm going to set the scene for you. I think I was maybe 10 to 12-ish. And my mom, when she goes shopping, she likes to take her time. She likes to look at things and ask questions and debate whether or not she should get this item and just browses for a long time. Also, if you don't know my mom, she likes everything to be a shade of white or cream. I mean, her rainbow is white, cream, beige, ivory, blonde, lightest green color you could ever imagine, shit green, and then maybe some browns, maybe some sand brown. That's the extent of her color palette. I think it's funny. If you've ever been shopping with my mom, I'll be like, "Ooh, Mom, look at this blouse. Oh, honey, that blouse is way too dark. I can't. It wouldn't go well with my skin tone. Mom, you should try this makeup style. Look. You should try this. It would be great on your eyes. Oh, it's just so dark. Mom only does a little bit of eyeliner and some mascara. Mom just needs to." She knows I love her, but I just get a kick out of her, the difference between us. It's so funny to me to see my mom with beige and ivory and cream, and look at me right now, polka dots and super crazy, it's not really crazy, but dark eyeshadow and dark lipstick, and I got my highlighter cheeks going on here and everything. You know, my mom would never get her hair cut like this. It's just funny to me. So anyway, I'm getting super side off track, but yeah, so back to the story. Okay, so I'm 10 to 12 years old. My mom is shopping at Farm and Fleet, and I have a brother. He's 2 years younger than me, so we're we're shopping. We're really bored. My mom keeps looking at all the clothing racks, and she's picking through it slowly. If we were in a time warp, this is how slowly she would be looking through the clothes. Oh my god, it was so bad. And I was bored out of my skull. Mom, we're at Farm and Fleet. This is the most boring store in all of the earth. Can we please just move it along here, you know? Okay, God, I'm 12. I don't want to sit here and watch you pick through the clothes so slowly. So my brother, he comes up with this genius idea, right? That he is going to go swing from the clothesline at the store. He sees this clothes rack, and it's got this thick bamboo type style clothes rack with hundreds of clothes are on it. He decides he's going to push the clothes aside and he's just going to swing on the clothes rack. And I see him do it a few times and I'm really bored, and I decide this is probably, actually no, it's definitely a good idea. And I'm not that much heavier than him, right? I'm only 2 years older, so I can't be that much heavier. So I decide that I'm going to go swing on this clothes rack. So I walk up to the clothes rack, and I just go for it. I'm just swinging hardcore. I'm trying my best to get my legs to go straight up in the air and my body to just be whoof. I'm just going to swing around this rack and my legs are going to go up and it's going to be great and everyone's going to love it. And yeah, you know when you go to the park as a kid and you see the swing and you're how hard do I have to swing to get this to go all the way around? Probably pretty hard, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to pump. Okay, that sounded dirty, but I'm going to pump until I get all the way around this swing, right? So I am in the store, and I'm convinced that I'm going to it's going to happen. It's going to be great. I'm going to swing around this clothes rack, and everyone's going to write about me in the history books, and Guinness World Records going to want my information, and be first time a girl has swung over clothes rack at a store. Rose Kendall, age 10. Age 10? Oh my god, she's so young. How did she do it, ma'am? How did you do it? Well, I just pumped really hard. I had a dream and I went for it. And I got all the way around that pole whee! Except, I swung up, and like as my legs are sticking in the air, the rack breaks. It breaks in half. And guess what happens next? I fall on my pretty little head right on the concrete floor. Like there was no carpet, there was nothing. It was just right on the concrete floor. That was not as loud as I hoped it would be, but yeah. So of course I'm screaming, I'm in a lot of pain, my head is just killing me. My mom freaks out, she thinks that I'm gonna die, that my head is gonna split open, that I need stitches. She runs to the guy that's working at Farm and Fleet, and she's like, or the person that's working at Farm and Fleet, and she's like, please, will you call an ambulance? My daughter, she's fallen on her head, she needs help, she needs assistance. And the person didn't call the ambulance. My mom came back and like 5 minutes later and was like, oh my gosh, they haven't called an ambulance, I don't know what's going on, we need to leave, I don't know what's going on, I think they're afraid of getting sued, we need to leave. Now, I don't know why they didn't call an ambulance. Like, of course, it was my fault that I was swinging from the clothes rack. Obviously, it was my fault. No kid should be swinging from a clothes rack. It's a safety hazard. So obviously, like, there was no reason that we would have sued them, but I could have had brain problems that, like, we didn't know. And they didn't call the ambulance, and they never came. So my mom gets really terrified. She's, like, yelling at me that she was really scared that I got hurt, and I'm in the car, like, bawling, and it's a whole thing. And I just remember, like, going home and like my dad holding me on the porch while I'm screaming absolute bloody murder with the worst headache I could ever imagine. Now, to give you a clue of how extremely painful this was, I have had migraine issues since I was 12. No, I take that back. I lied. I've had migraine issues since I was in middle school, like high school age. My mom has chronic migraines, and they've diagnosed her with an allergy to MSG. So when she eats MSG, her brain like literally swells up to the point that it gives her a migraine until it's processed through her body. It's really bad and dangerous for her to have MSG. And so for me, I've had them for years. I know exactly how this chronic pain feels. It's awful. It hurts so bad when I get a migraine. A couple years ago, I had the worst one I've ever had. It was 3 days of me lying on the floor at Christmas. I literally could not move. I hurt so bad. It was the worst pain I've ever felt with a migraine, and I still somehow think that this falling on my head on a concrete floor's pain was worse than that. Like, to this day, I still hear a thump sometimes and just like get flashbacks, and just, oh, it's such a disgusting sound. Like the noise of a head cracking on concrete. It's awful. So every time I see like kids on the back of those like grocery carts, like flipping them up to like pull on them and to like just be stupid, I want to be like, guys, please don't. You know, like just trust me on this. It's awful. Don't do it. It's terrible. You don't want to do it. So luckily my mom took me to like get my head checked and everything, and if you have any comments about my mental stability and how falling on my head was obvious, you can go suck a big long dick, because no, like really, there's nothing wrong with me because of that. I did have a concussion, but everything was fine. I'm lucky I didn't need stitches. I'm lucky I didn't break my skull. I'm lucky I didn't have brain bleeding. All of these things. It was like the smack heard round the store. So, yeah, that was just my FYI. It did turn my tooth. I don't know if you can see it, and this might be disgusting, so if you're freaked out by mouths, maybe don't look right now, but that molar, the second one forward, is twisted and has been twisted. It's not as severe, but after the fall, it did twist completely sideways. I had braces when I was in high school that they did try to twist it back. It did twist back for a little bit of time, but after they took the braces out, it just moved back. Right there to where it is. Biting doesn't hurt really, like at all. It just kind of, just the way that it sits. Yeah, so that was the story of me falling. The second story, because today is apparently tragedies that happened to Rose because she's a fucking idiot day. Tragedy number 2 is me making, okay, so I am a creative person, and one time my mom and my brother and we all like made these really cool leaves where we covered them in wax, and then we ironed the wax, or we covered them in crayons and we ironed the crayons on, and then there was like this really cool pattern with the crayons over the leaves. one day I decided I wanted to replicate this idea. So I went outside in my yard and I picked the best leaves, the most beautiful symmetric leaves ever. I went and got some gorgeous colored crayons. I ran to the basement, I plugged the iron in the wall, and I was so set. I was ready. My mom was out mowing the lawn at the time. I walked to the basement, I get everything set up, I put the crayons on the wax paper, I put the leaves on the wax paper. I forget that the wax paper also needs to get folded over the crayons and then set the hot iron directly on crayons, which of course they're made of wax, so they melt all over the bottom of the iron. I instantly become scared. Like, oh my gosh, my mom is gonna see that I melted crayons onto this iron. I'm such an idiot. Why wouldn't I have checked with her first? Like, it's just a craft. I think I wanted to surprise her at the time with it, so that's why I didn't go to her and tell her that I wanted to do this. I just went ahead and did it. And then, of course, my silly little brain just got wax all over the bottom of the iron. And I was still really young, so it makes sense that I didn't think about these things. Then, I decided that the best way to solve this problem would be to get a big bowl of water. Like, water. So I run to the basement. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm gonna plug this in. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna clean this iron. So I put the bowl of water down on the ironing board. I set it there, all gentle. And then I go get my iron. Hold on, I'm gonna go get my iron, okay? Hold on, okay. Okay, I get my iron. And I'm like, look, I'm gonna plug this in. Watch. It was still plugged in. This is how stupid I am. I plugged in an iron, ironed on some crayons, got the crayons stuck to the iron, went upstairs and got a bowl of water, put the bowl of water on the ironing board, put the iron in the bowl of water while it was still plugged in the wall. I am pretty convinced that at that moment I felt every single fiber of my entire body light up like a Christmas tree. Like I could have just, like all those crazy movies where you see people like, that was me. That was me in that moment. I ran out to my mom a few minutes later like, Mom, I don't feel so good. What did you do? I put a iron in a bowl of water and it was plugged in the wall and I think it electrocuted me. Are you kidding? Are you kidding right now? Are you serious? You really did that? Oh my god. Are you okay? I think I need to call the doctor. What if something happened to your heart? What if something happened to your heart? My mom is like losing it, right? She gets really upset. She's scared. She's worried that I hurt myself permanently. This kid has already survived a fall on her head. Like, how do I not know? Like, how is she alive still? Like, thought she would have died off long ago from just being stupid, right? No. Well, long story short, I was fine. But, yeah, so, I mean, that's like 2 out of like a handful of stories where I just, all reasoning left my mind and something else happened and Rose just, woo! Like, I don't know. Like, is Mars my home planet? Maybe. It could be. It could be your home planet too. Like, don't discredit the fact that I had these experiences because it could be you someday. You could be like, I'm gonna clean this iron in a bowl of water. Ah! Yeah, that could be you. So, anyway, that's all for today. I have more stories coming. If you like this story, just go push the like button right down there. Leave me a comment in the comment box. I'm still new to all this. I really don't know what I'm doing. So if you have any advice or suggestions other than you have too much dopamine and serotonin in which you can take a big flying fuck, I have a lot more cool stuff to say. So like my stuff and I will share it with you. Also, if you have a problem with cursing, maybe following me isn't the best idea. So just so you know. Okay? Okay. Until next time, bye!